Mr. Thymenos is not available. Something else hit the wall 2 rooms over in the coastal condo. Deborah Cantrell pressed the heel of one hand against her ear so she could better hear the phone conversation in the other. Whatever had been thrown was broken, shattered most likely, nothing unusual, but that didn't make it okay. Deborah cleared her throat and walked as far as the wall of glass windows overlooking the beach. Jerry's not available, I'm sorry. Let's say... All right. He shouted something from the other room. In the direction of the shatter. It might have been words, but she couldn't understand any of them. It wasn't always words. When he was in a mood, it could just be frustrated grunts. Deborah tried to focus. I'm sorry you feel that way, but I can't change it. If you don't want to leave a message with me again, you can try email. She finally hung up, but thought the caller might have beaten her to it. Taking a deep breath, she moved through the house toward his office and the sound of the latest damage. Her low sneakers crunched on the broken glass. It's like paralleling my life here, except nobody broke things in anger, I don't think. I think they just dropped a bowl. Her low sneakers crunched on the broken glass, even though the carpet was some of the thickest and softest she had ever seen. Shame she couldn't go barefoot on it now. Watch your step, Jerry Thymenos shouted, with his back turned where he leaned over the side of his monster's desk. I don't need you cutting your foot. I have enough going on as it is. Thank you for your concern, Jerry. Addie from the agency called again. I'm not available. I told her that, just like the last time. Then why are you wasting my time telling me? Because you get upset when I don't tell you. Whatever, Deborah. Whatever you say. Can you clean up this mess? It was an important award I earned at one point. You have someone else for cleaning, and you're here to do what I say, so make yourself useful. You were concerned about me cutting myself a moment ago. I liked that moment. So smart, so sharp. I don't really need those things from you. You can clean up or you can get out. I'll be in the next room if you need me. BS, Deborah. If I need you to do something and you won't do it, then I don't really need you at all. That's the question, Jerry, isn't it? Then why do I need you at all? You're a real piece of work picking at me at a time like this. She dared to cross the room, leaving the broken glass in the doorway. She was glad it was someone else's job, because getting all that glass out of that plush carpet would be a nightmare. Why don't you sit back down? You're breathing very hard. I'm going to use his name again. Jerry. I'm sorry my breathing bothers you so, he said as he accepted her hand and arm. He sat back heavy in his office chair, really testing the springs. She held the back of it. The back of the headrest to keep him from tipping too far. You can take a number on being another person tired. I'm still breathing. You know that's not what I meant. He grunted at her and started wrestling with the wires and tubes attached to him that were tangled around one another. She reached to help him undo the mess, but he slapped her hand away. That wasn't hard, but it was a slap. She could get him in trouble for that, but what was it really worth, even if she wanted to? I'm going to put a question mark there because it is a question. After another moment of struggle and frustration, she leaned in to help, and he relented with no more slapping. She didn't get him completely loose, as he would have needed to lift his arms for that. He was capable. The man had just thrown a lifetime achievement award of considerable size, but she didn't want to test him more than she had to. That should do, unless you want to give it another look when you change clothes or get bathed. Jerry sighed. We'll wait and get all of our indignities for the evening done in one swoop. What do you say? Sounds good, Jerry. He snorted, shook his head, and then pressed his fingers hard into his cheeks on both sides of his nose. It was like... It was... It was like either... Let's say that. Let's see if that... It was like... Let's switch these two words. I think that's what's bothering me about this sentence. Hold on a second. Sometimes it's small changes that make a sentence work. It was either like that snort or the shaking of his head had caused him pain. I still don't like the sentence, but I'll fix it later. Nothing is good anymore. Deborah didn't believe that even after all these years of working with him, but she offered no retort, as she knew it wouldn't be well received. It's a nice day, and I'm stuck in here barely progressing on work I couldn't give two shits about. Do you want to take a walk? Let's say he added. That'll make it clear that he's still the one talking in that section. Do you want to take a walk outside? We can get everything situated and go for a short time. He seemed to actually consider it, but then shook his head again before holding his neck. No, too much hassle. I'm so effing uncomfortable today. I'm not up for it. I understand. You don't understand anything. You're still young and vital. You know nothing of what I go through. Well, I'm here. I'm not as young as you give me credit for. I haven't walked in your shoes exactly, but I've seen enough to sympathize. As soon as I'm done with all this paid work, I'll be sure to exchange all that valuable sympathy for the going rate. You do that, Jerry. Smartass thinks she's beyond firing. You might just find out one day. Is there anything else I can do for you besides cut myself on your broken award or get chewed out over stuff that isn't my fault? I'm going to put a question mark there. Well, I do pay you for the second one at least. That is true. She sat on the couch not far from his hulking desk after checking to be sure no stray glass had landed there. I have a few friends and a couple publishers who consider themselves friends. I know you do. Jerry Thymenos glared at her a moment. That wasn't the end of the statement, smartass. Oh, sorry, I honestly didn't realize. I was saying that there are a few people who think you might be holding me captive, elder abuse or some such shit. That's preposterous. I know, like you were strong enough to hold me, right? I meant the idea that you're the one being abused. Clever, always clever, Deborah. Did you at least let them know it wasn't the case? I'm a busy man. I can't address every rumor that flies around the internet. Do you want to draft a statement for me? Although that might just be the thing my abuser and captor might do. Deborah sighed and looked away. Let's not waste time on it. We need to get busy winning you a new award to replace the last one. Sure, something heavier that will break louder maybe. Why did you throw it this time? Why not, Deborah? The award means nothing and I'm suffering one discomfort and indignity after another. It's your award to throw as long as you don't throw it at me. Wouldn't dream of it, Deborah. Well, I might dream of it, but very unlikely I will ever act upon the impulse. The phone vibrated, but Deborah quickly declined the call. Who didn't you answer? It was Peter at the foundation. I've already told him you are not available, and he can email the details. He hasn't done so, just decided to call again. What if it was important, though? I can call him back if you want to talk. Jerry shook his head and squeezed his eyes shut afterward this time. No, word will get around that I'm taking calls and then they'll never end. Wouldn't want that. He'll just have to email like he was told. That guy is nothing but drama. He uses people, uses me for my money and reputation every time I allow it. I've had enough of all the BS. I've earned some peace and quiet. Of course. I don't think you mean that, Deborah. Which part, Jerry? The quick agreement part. You were too quick to agree with what I claim to have earned. She shrugged, not sure why you need convincing on that. I've done nothing but support you all along. Because I pay you to, sure. But have not gotten everything. But have you not gotten everything you paid for? Jerry glanced at the broken glass and rolled his eyes. There were broken blood vessels under the surface of both. Both the whites, let's say. Now, awash with bloody smears. Just using me for my money, too. But no drama, right, Jerry? I think you give yourself too much credit on that front, Deborah. You've earned the right to think so. I don't like being made fun of. Don't tease me like that. Okay, Jerry. I want to go for a walk. I feel like shit, so don't try to make me overdo it. He was already trying to get up, and she sprung to help him. They took the time to untangle his wires and tubes. He even lifted his arms twice without complaining about it. At the door, she made him sit down again to change his shoes. He did complain about that, but complied. They walked about 20 yards of beach before a young man in a big hat approached. Jerry growled under his breath and muttered, "You think I can outrun him?" "You can try," she whispered back. The young man squared in front of them and said, "I'm a huge fan, Mr. Thymenos. My favorite from you." The boy went on for a while before Deborah said, "We really need to get moving. Do you mind giving us a little space, sir?" "Oh, right, sorry. You look tired, and I know you're up there in years." Let me put a quotation mark at the end of that. You're just about done with this animal. At the end of a shaky breath, Jerry said, "Fuck you." The boy didn't seem to hear as he hunted through his fanny pack and said, "If I can find a marker, would you mind signing my shirt before you go? It'd be such an honor." Deborah took a Sharpie out of her purse and slipped it into Jerry's hand. He looked down at the pen and then glared at her. "The hell do you think you're doing? It'll be faster if you just sign it." Jerry pulled the pen cap and held it between his teeth. Then he mumbled over the thing like it was a cigar. "Who do I make this out to?"